Okay, so the second item that I want to show you as part of this spotlight session is a little bit unusual. It's not a book to start with, but it comes in this giant folder, this portfolio here. So this is a folder of documents, and it's on our catalogue as Nottingham Sketches by Mrs. Enfield et al. And if we open it up, it contains a huge variety of different things. So on the top of the pile, I've put some of the Nottingham sketches by Mrs. Enfield. So this is Nottingham Castle on its rock, obviously, and the Trent at Wilford, which is rather lovely, and Wilford Church with sheep in the churchyard, which I quite like. So there are some rather nice and interesting sketches and pictures in here. Mrs. Enfield was Mrs. Anne Enfield. She was the wife of Mr. William Enfield, and William Enfield was an alderman of Nottingham. He was very active in poor relief and those kinds of things. And his wife Anne, who was born Anne Needham, she lived from 1801 to 1865, and she is renowned as an artist. She did watercolours and sketches of this type. These three are part of a series of prints that were published in 1854 with the profits going to the Midland Institute for the Blind. So we only have these three, and these are within this folder. So these are what have given the folder its name and the details that we've got on the catalogue record. But the folder itself also includes a great variety of other different documents. So if I just move these out of the way, the document that I wanted particularly to show you is just a little one, and that was on top there. So I shall just pack those away a bit. So the document that I wanted to show you was this one. An excellent picture with a ghost in it. So this is clearly a page from a book, and it's a book that includes an illustration by George Cruikshanks. And George Cruikshanks was well renowned as a satirical illustrator, and he did caricatures and book illustrations. He illustrated books by Dickens, and he was in his lifetime very well known and well renowned as a kind of political cartoonist. So this is one of his illustrations. This illustration is actually taken from the book Land Sharks and Seagulls by Captain William Nugent Glasscock, and it's a book of naval anecdotes that was published in 1838. And this is an illustration of one of the anecdotes. The anecdote being that there was a sailor who stole a piece of a tombstone, the tombstone of Anne Dobbs, to use as a holy stone to clean the deck of the ship with. And in retribution from this, the ghost of Anne Dobbs appeared to him whilst he was in his hammock on board the ship. And you can see the sailor here looking terrified with his pigtail sticking up in the air because he's so scared, as the ghost of Anne Dobbs appears there. So that was the incident that's being illustrated by this. Cruikshanks seems to have had a bit of an interest in ghosts and the macabre, but from the point of view of someone who was a rationalist, someone who was very much a materialist. At one point, around about 1860, he actually offered a £100 reward for anyone who could show him a particular ghost that at the time was being said to haunt an area in the vicinity of Leicester. And needless to say, nobody claimed the reward. Throughout his life, Cruikshanks seems to have gently poked fun at these sorts of beliefs, and this particular illustration has been described by one of Cruikshanks' biographers, by W.H. Chesson, as the chef d'oeuvre of Cruikshanks' ghost humour. So this is clearly the pinnacle of his use of ghosts and the supernatural in his illustrations, and it's also rather fun.